Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting into our end of year favourites, the end of 2022 favourites. Can you believe like we're already here? I literally just looked back on my favourites from last year to see what I put in my favourites last year and I'm like, a lot of my favourites are still the same. I was almost going to put them into this video as well, and to be honest, a lot of them are still the same. My NYX Marshmallow Primer, my MAC Brow Big Boost Brow Gel, whatever the thing is called. Lots of them that are still favourites for me. So a lot of the lip colours are still the favourites for me as well. So I did pick up all new ones that I can think of. Pretty sure these are all ones that haven't been in last year's video. But if there's any overlaps, it's because they're still my favourites. That's why. So just a little bit of housekeeping for this video. I know I might have said, I'm not sure when the video is going up, whether this one's gone up first or the other one's gone up beforehand. I'm not sure. I got my hair done. I got my roots done. So my hair is quite bright. Will be for the rest of the videos for the end of the year. But if there's any videos that I have uploaded or will be uploading after that my hair looks different, it's because I pre-filmed. So yeah, that's why. Also, number 2, again, I said it in the other video, I'm currently still have a cold, so I sound quite nasally, so just ignore that. We're just going to move on. I feel fine, just sniffly and sneezy and nasally. That's it. So we are going to go through, I have everything, basically every category, kinda. I didn't do lashes because I still love my Cash Beauties, they're still the same. I didn't do like lip liners because I just go with whatever lipstick I'm using. What else? I didn't do any like single shadows, glitters, pigments or anything like that. Well, I did do single shadows as a one brand, but I didn't do any like individual shadows and things like that because again, they're all the same. So I am just going to go through everything that I have for you guys. I'm not going to swatch things around like that. I'm just going to tell you why I love them so much and how much I've been using them and what made the cut this year for my favourites. Just before we get into the favourites, this look is filmed. If you want to see it, it is coming up on my channel. I think this might be gone for, I'm not sure. I don't know which is happening first. So it will be on my channel, or it already is on my channel. So go hit subscribe down below to see it coming soon, or go subscribe to see it. And also the pictures will be on my Instagram sometime soon. Okay, so we're going to get into favourites. I'm going to start with complexion, then we're going to go into cheeks, eye product, not palettes, and then lips, and then palettes right at the end because that's all the fun stuff at the end. So with complexion wise, I started with primer, and I have two, well, I'd say I wouldn't even call these primers. They don't necessarily like give you any more longevity out of your makeup. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, that's what it's called, in the shade number 1 Fair. The like writing has completely rubbed off mine, so not good quality on that. But the product itself, I have it on me right now under my foundation, just gives you this beautiful glow. I wore this on holidays, kind of, that's it, just this and concealer and a little bit of bronzer when I was on holidays in August. It just gives the slightest bit of coverage, but this glow that almost like looks like you've got more coverage than you actually do. Like it doesn't really give you that much coverage, but just looks like you've got a lot of coverage. Not a lot, but like some coverage, that your skin is just really glowy. I'm next year going to a music festival for the first time ever, and I'm probably going to bring this because it means I won't have to do makeup. I can just put this on and actually look okay. But yeah, that's just basically what it is. It just gives you this really nice natural kind of look to the skin, but really healthy looking skin as well. And in this guy here, I actually got this in one of my advent calendars from last year. I can't remember which one it was, I'm not too sure, but it is the Rodale Soft Focus Glow Drops. There's no shade, it's just like this very soft like opal pink. It does have a little bit of grip to it, so it does help to make it stick a little bit better to the skin, but it gives you this really nice glassy look to your skin, like the glass skin trend. That's what that gives you. It's so beautiful. I've been using it a lot, like whenever I just want a primer but still have an effect on my foundation that like you can see, I tend to go for this and this as well, but this mostly. For foundations then, two very, very, very different foundations for me, but I've just been grabbing these a lot depending on what I need them for. So let's start with the lighter one. So this is the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation SPF 15. Just a little shake it so it's not all separated from sitting in my drawer. I'm in the shade N012 Porcelain, the lightest shade. I am an NC10 in Max Studio Fix Fluid if you just want to reference. I'm also one of my Fair in NYX. I'm Porcelain in lots of other things. Yeah, so that's what I am in this, the porcelain shade. It's just this really fluid foundation that has sheer to medium coverage. Really nice glowy, very natural, like a really nice natural glowy look to the skin. And just nice skin. You know what I mean? So skin. And that's what I mean. It's called the skin foundation, and I think that's what it's supposed to do. It just makes it look like your skin, but like 10 times better. And it just gives you this really nice healthy look to the skin. I really like the textures, and then I like building a little bit of coverage on top of this. So I'll use a bit of concealer, which we'll get into in a few minutes. Bit of concealer with it, but I do tend to just like a medium at most. Most of the time, because my next one is definitely not a medium coverage, it's definitely a full coverage. But this one, definitely big winner for me. I actually have a backup already of this. I like it so much I got a second one. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have got Estee Lauder Double Wear. The original Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup, SPF 10, and I actually have two shades. I've got Alabaster and I've got Shell. This is Alabaster. I have the other one in my drawer, but I didn't feel like getting it out as well because there's no point, they're the same product. Full coverage, matte finish. And it does not move. I swear, when people say, oh my god, Double Wear like lasts all day, like I mean this lasts. I've worn this into work. I have then worn it on a night out without having to actually touch up my face. This stays on so well. Now it's heavy and it looks like you've got makeup on, but it still looks good. I don't like, so I tried the Charlotte Tilbury like airbrush flawless foundation, Jesus, and I didn't like it because it was too heavy and it made me look about 10 years older than I was. This doesn't, because it's still quite a thin formula, but just such good coverage. It's, I don't know, I really like it. Really like it. And I know I'm probably the last person on the planet to ever try Double Wear, but I've tried it in the last few months and I love it. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. I've sneezed like 10 times in the last 15 minutes. Oh god, these lights are not helping me. Concealers, I have two. I've got the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. It took me so long to find this. I remember seeing Michaela on TikTok use this and her under eyes looked unreal, and I was like, I want that. Whatever that is, I want it. And it took so long for my boots to get it in Ireland. And I was just waiting for it to win. As soon as it came in, I got the lightest shade, so fair. And just like a little pump. It really reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, but with just a touch more coverage, I would say. And it stays on a little bit longer, a little bit more. It's still super natural, super glowy, super just easy to work with. Sometimes if I've got quite a stubborn spot, I'll probably pop something like a heavier concealer on, like one of the ones in like little pots and things like that. They're usually heavier, the cream concealers on spots and that, but under the eyes this is gorgeous. And then an old favorite that I've recently busted out again, I've got my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Chantilly Light 1, the lightest shade. And I have a backup of this because I got it over Black Friday because I really wanted a second one. This is my second one. My backup is my third one, so I've actually gone through a few of these. And it just has this really nice like thick cream concealer that stays, but really good coverage, but still looks natural. Like it's still, as it says, radiant, but it's like a cream as opposed to a liquid concealer, where the other one was more liquid and like Maybelline is more liquid. This is more cream, and it's in the name. I get it. I know, but you know what I mean. Like it is that little bit thicker, but still looks natural. It's weird, but I love it. This shade is a tiny bit bright for me, but the next shade up wouldn't brighten enough for me, so I tend to use this, and I sometimes layer this over concealers that aren't bright enough for me, or when I'm in the winter and my concealers that I have are a bit too warm for me, I'll layer this on top. I love it. It's my third one. It's very hard for me to get through concealers, but I do, and I have favourites, and my Pro Longwear from MAC is still one of my favourites, but this is another one. And then lastly, for complexions, we've got powder. Now I only have one powder. I don't think I put a powder in last year. I only have one. My NYX loose powder is still my fave. My MAC Mineralized still my fave. Love those, but I'm not going to repeat myself every year. This one's a new one that I bought this year, and I've used it a lot, and I get really excited when I take it out, and I don't know why. This is the Be Perfect Lockdown powder. I am in the shade 2.0, and it's this like here. It reminds me of the Mineralized powder from MAC, but more matte. But it kind of has that texture. It's that baked kind of formula. Really, really nice texture. Adds a little bit of coverage, like a sheer to medium coverage as well. So it does add coverage to your face. Just gives really nice smooth texture to the skin though, and it helps it last a bit longer. I just get really, really excited when I'm about to use this. I don't know why. Okay, now on to cheeks. We have got bronzer, contour as well, but I tend to use bronzer as contour to warm up my skin and sculpt my face all at the same time. So this year, got this. Didn't want to like it that much, but I did. You probably already know what it is because I've used it so much. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer in the shade 1 Fair, the lightest shade. It's essentially like their answer to the Chanel's like the bronzer mousse thing in the tub. It's that kind of texture, like it's a cream ish kind of consistency. Really nice color. Again, I get kind of excited to use this. I know my skin is going to look really good when I have this on, and it's a great tone for pale skin. It doesn't go too yellow and it doesn't go too red. It's kind of sits in between. It's like a cool tone bronzer. I love this so much. Didn't want to, but I do. And yeah, very excited. I would definitely purchase it again if I ran out, but definitely a big winner on my end. That's it for bronzers, because my Fenty in the Sun bronzer is still top of the list. What did I say last year was one of them? Oh, the Juvia's Place Duo. That's still pretty high up. My Hulas and all those kinds of things, they're really high up. So now we're going to get into blush. So for blush, I have one cream. This is the Inglot AMC Cream Blush in the shade 91. It's this gorgeous kind of neutral peach sort of shade, like peachy pink, but more peach. Neutral though. And I just, whenever I don't know what blush to wear, I always kind of grab this. Kind of like the way I used to grab like Warm Salt. I still grab Warm Salt all the time, but I try not to because I use it all the time. I grab this a lot as well, especially if I want a cream, because it's just neutral enough to go with everything, but also pink enough to give me my colour that I like with my blushers. And yeah, I just like it. I love the texture. It's kind of like a cream to powder sort of formula. Don't always love a cream to powder, but I do really like this texture. I think it looks really nice on the skin. And then two powder blushes, but I kind of prefer the mixed. I like them mixed together. So I like one on its own. I kind of like one on its own, but I like them both much better mixed. So I've got the MAC Extra Dimension blush in the shades Into the Pink, which is the more pinky cool tone, and then Fairly Precious, which is your peachier kind of tone. Everyone raves about this one. I find it leans a little bit orange on my skin. This one is gorgeous, but kind of not enough color in this one. Like it gives me enough pink but not enough warmth to the skin, but combined together, is that not just a match made in heaven? It is, and it just gives you this gorgeous glow. I can wear these and no highlight and happy and super glowy as well, because it gives me enough highlight. I love these two mixed together. Like I hadn't been using them for ages because I was like, yeah, they're nice, but not what I want all the time. Mixed together, I always want to use them then. And then on to highlights, we've got two. So I've got another Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Multi Glow Beautifying All Over Glow Highlighter. It's the lighter one. It's one of these ones where it's got like the 4 different colours, and I do lean more obviously towards the lighter shades here, but I do dabble in the pinky kind of mauvey sort of shades as well to give a little bit of colour if I've got that kind of tone of blush on as well. It's just the most like shiny, like silky shiny kind of, you're not gonna be able to see that at all, silky shiny kind of finish to the skin, to the cheeks. Just a really nice glow, but quite intense, like brighter than you would imagine for Charlotte Tilbury. And then the other one, a Fenty product here. This one I've just recently gotten back into as well. I've had this ages, but I just recently got back into it. This is the Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo. I've got Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. Fire Crystal is the more sparkly one. Lightning Dust is the more kind of like shine, if that makes sense, like a sheen, and then this one is more like sparkle. This one's the more intense one. I don't know, I just got really back into using this for some reason. I've always loved it. I kind of fall in and out of it with it, but right now I've been loving it, so it's gone into my favorites this year. They're kind of similar tones. This one's a tiny bit cooler, this is a bit warmer, but they just give two different looks, and I think it's just so handy having the two options in one little pan. I don't know, it just made the list. It made the cut this year. Okay, so on to eye products, so not palettes. These are like the bits that go along with all the palettes and things like that to create these kind of looks. I have got this. I just knew instantly was going into my favorites because I want to rebuy it already, even though I'm not finished it. and I'm always checking, like when I go by, I'm like, oh, Benefit, they still have it, it's right there. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. So this is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, very hard to say, in the shade number 2, because I bought a set. Well, my mom bought me a set last year for Christmas, and it had the entire brow range, basically, apart from brow powders, which I don't know if they do, in it. And that's why I use a lot of Benefit brow products. But this is the one that I always am just like, yeah, this is quick, easy. It's one of those ones where you've got spoolie on one end and you've got your pencil on the other to twist up. But it's that kind of like triangular sort of shape, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a skinny pencil. I used the skinny pencil, the Precisely My Brow from Benefit, and it was fine, but it didn't do much for me, which was weird. This, however, I have it on me now, and I just use less of it because obviously my hair is a bit lighter now. Like, is it just me? Like, that brow looks amazing to me, and I love it. And I it's always with this then. So I'm definitely gonna be rebuying this, and I don't say that a lot about brow products apart from like brow gels. Definitely rebuying this brow pencil. And another new one for this year, this is the Beauty Bay Eye Base, and this is in the shade 2, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of rubbed off the back, but I'm pretty sure it's number 2. It's this guy here. There's loads in this, by the way. It's going to last me forever. It is one of these kind of ones where you've got like a little wand, and it's in a tube, and it's kind of like a light kind of peach sort of shade, but it's just quite neutral. It's really nice, kind of stays a little bit wet, but not as much as the P. Louise bases are, because they actually crease on me. This doesn't. It gives me coverage over the eye, and it gives me a base to work on. The only thing I will say with it is that you have to really make sure that it's covered with shadows, otherwise you'll see that it's like still wet, if that makes sense. So making sure that your colours, wherever you're putting them, pack them on and then blend them out. But I like the texture of this. I sometimes find I don't need to use my glitter primer with my shimmers to put them on. Most of the time I still do, but sometimes I don't. So he's a little good one, and not that expensive as well. Check it on the Beauty Bay website. Really not that expensive. Then on to like pencil liners, not necessarily colours in particular, but a general brand itself, or a line of them itself. These are the NYX Epic Wear Liner Sticks. I have a couple of shades, but I do have here Gunmetal Gaze and All Time Olive. All Time Olive I've used a lot, which is probably my favourite one. It's an olive green, which I've been looking for ages. Found it and love it. This one here is like a gunmetal grey. They really remind me of the Urban Decay pencils, but they're way cheaper. And they've got loads of different colours. I really hope they keep them in line, because I'll definitely want to buy more, especially when I start running out my Urban Decay ones, if I want to go into these ones. Now, they don't have as many interesting colours, where Urban Decay you might have some like a blue glitter, and then like some kind of duochrome ones. But for these kind of ones, like these are both shimmery kind of ones, and they're beautiful, so beautiful, and they just stay on so well. So these, just in general, as a whole, as a line, this is what I love. And more NYX win with liners this year. So we have got, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I probably did in like even the year before as favorites. So we've got, for liquid liners, we've got the NYX Epic Ink Liner Pen in black, which is like the MAC brushstroke, but cheaper. It's a brush tip applicator, bends really nicely over the eye, really quick and easy to use, doesn't dry up because it is a brush tip applicator, not a sponge or felt tip, and yeah, it's just so quick and easy to use, stays on really well. Then I also, because I kind of alternate between these two, I go for the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner, which is like you dip in. It's got a nice kind of long brush on it as well, like it's like a nice long brush, nice movement to the brush. I like a bit of movement with my brush, and I like a pointed brush as well. Really black, and again, just quite easy to use. I kind of go between either one. I prefer this kind of style, but I do love this as well. And then, my god, did this mascara take over my life. I currently have a backup, even though I'm using a different one, but I cannot wait to open my new one. This is the MAC Stack Mascara. If you've seen any of the viral things for this, you've seen it like 100%. It has got a plasticky kind of wand like this. This is like my basically empty one. It's pretty much empty, but it's got a wand that looks like this, kind of thicker at the base and thinner as you go on top. This just layers up like nothing else. It makes my lashes look amazing. Now, to give me credit, or to give my lashes credit, I do use the Eye Glow Lash Serum because I don't really have good lashes, and that's the only lash serum that really makes my lashes look amazing as well. But when I do put this on, the amount of times I've been asked, have I got false eyelashes on? With the combination of using my Eye Glow Lash Serum and this mascara is insane. And I've used like this Open Glory mascara. I've used those mascaras while I've been using my lash serum, and they still don't look the way this mascara looks as well. It's so good. I do sometimes get a little bit of transfer underneath, but I don't set my under eyes, so I can just wipe that away and fix it, and it's fine. It does not bother me at all. For the way this makes my lashes look is so good. And you can layer this upon layering upon layering. That's the whole point of the mascara, is that it's a stackable mascara and you don't get any clumps, and it's kind of like a soft sort of texture as well. Your lashes aren't like hard, and like I find sometimes when they're too hard they're kind of sore. So yeah, get on him. Okay, so now we're moving on to lips. Nothing majorly exciting here, I have to say. I just picked out things that I've used quite a bit, I always kind of gravitate towards again. Yeah, nothing major. So let's start with lipsticks. So I have a MAC lipstick here. This is a matte one. It's in the shade Love You Back. It's basically just like a neutral pink brown kind of color. Cool tone though, and really, really nice, especially with Whirl lip liner, which is my favorite lip liner from MAC. And yeah, it's a nice easy neutral for me. That's not too pink, not too brown, not too dark, not too light. Just easy for me to use. Another new one, and I love the packaging of this. This is from Anastasia. I bought this on a whim. It was on sale, so I bought it. It's in the shade Haze. It's a satin lipstick. I thought this was matte. Turns out it's a satin. Let me clean her because she's a bit dirty for me using it. This is a lot paler of a nude, so I really like these kind of ones when I do something really dramatic. I don't know what kind of colour lip to do. Like, I don't know if anything will really suit it. I go for something like this, so it's like a nothing kind of lip. But it's so beautiful. So it's like this kind of beige, real cool toned beige colour. And it's a satin finish, so it's so gorgeous. And the packaging has a bit of weight to it as well, which I really like. Then liquid lipsticks. I don't know if you can get this colour anymore, but I swear to God, I've grabbed this to go to work all the last month anyway. This is the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Times Square. It really reminds me of Burnt Spice, but maybe a tiny bit lighter, just a teeny weeny bit. Just such a beautiful formula. It's a beautiful colour. Again, it's just an easy, goes with everything kind of colour, but not in like the very nude way that the Anastasia one is. More like the Love You Back kind of way, where it just kind of, it's an easy lip for me to wear. I've just been grabbing this so much for the last year. And then it wouldn't be me if I didn't have a black liquid lipstick on here, but it's not Caviar as it has been in previous years. It's Sleepwalker from Black Moon Cosmetics, because I got this last Black Friday, so not Black Friday just gone, the one before that, and I only recently started wearing it because I was using Caviar, obviously. This is the packaging here. It's so beautiful. It's all black, obviously, because this is the actual lipstick. So in any of the other ones, it'll be the colour here. This is Sleepwalker. It is gorgeous. If you want to see what this looks like on, go check out my Colourpop Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters 3 looks palette or video, and the first look in that, the Winifred look, that's what I'm wearing in that. Or if you want to see it without having to go through a whole video of that, I'm wearing it in my unconventional lip colours video back around like Halloween kind of time. Very nice formula, really, really nice. Do I prefer Caviar? I don't know. I'd kind of have to wear this a little bit more to see what I prefer, because I've been wearing Caviar for years. But definitely a contender up there for black liquid lip. And then I have 4 glosses. Nice and simple. They're all pretty neutral-ish. I've got this one here from Buxom. I don't know if I've really used this on my channel, but I've used it in real life a lot. This is in the shade Sugar, which is like a neutral, slightly sparkly sort of shade. Again, nice and easy kind of one. It goes really well with the lipsticks I picked here. This one's a little bit more colourful though. I say colourful, it's not really. It's just pink. This is the Essence Shine 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 lipstick in lip gloss in the shade Smile, Sparkle, Shine. And it's just like a nice baby pink. And it just kind of adds a little bit of pink to whatever lip you're wearing. Really nice, really good formula as well. Not sticky at all, just a really nice shiny formula. Then we've got an oldie but a goodie. Just recently got back into using these. This is the NYX Butter Gloss. I have the shade here Creme Brulee, but I've got loads of other shades, but this is the one I use the most. I'm nearly out of it as well, so I have been trying to use it, but I really love these again. I just do. I love them. They're not sticky. They have a nice bit of colour to them. They feel really kind of juicy on the lips. just a really nice formula, and I want to get more now, even though I have a lot of them. And then last one for gloss before we get into palettes, which is going to be exciting. This is the MAC Lip Glass in the shade Glass Heel. I don't think you can get this anymore. I'm pretty sure this was a Christmas one, but it's just the most sparkly gold, basically like a clear with gold sparkles in it. And it's just so sparkly though, and I love wearing it. It just makes everything look really pretty when I put it on. Really nice formula. And yeah, I just, who doesn't love a sparkly gloss? Okay, so on to palettes, the fun part, the bit we've all been waiting for to see what has made the cut this year. I will be doing a palette ranking, so ranking all of the palettes that I used just in 2022 and see what comes out on top at the end of the year. Pretty sure I know which one's going to come out on top already, but to rank them up and see where they all fall. Before we get into actual like curated palettes, I want to shout out some singles that I have here, which you might already know which ones I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to talk about my Terra Moons shadows. I have 3 more spaces, and on Black Friday I ordered 3 more colours to fill out my palette here. These are my most magical shadows in my collection. 100%, they just shift so well. I grab these so much when I'm going out and I'm not going to be filming, because they just make my makeup look so interesting without me having to do a lot of work to my eyes. I can literally just pick a colour through the crease, something to blend it out, do the same too on the lower lash, pop this on the lid, and it just looks so good. I recently used Moontide, which is this one here. It kind of goes from like a blue to a green. If you want to see any of these really up close, especially like these lighter shades, well, they all look the same here, but they all shift completely different. I have a full swatch party of them and up close swatches of each individual shade and in different lighting as well, so you can see what they shift in different lighting. So magical. I definitely want to get more. I have more coming, but I definitely want to fill another palette, 100%, but I have to wait for a sale because they're quite expensive. Now we're on to curated palettes, so let's just work down the pile. I'm not going to go through anything in particular with these, just work down the pile. So where are we going to start? Let's start here. Okay, so I've got one of my neutral palettes. Actually, I have 2 neutral palettes this year. This is my Kaleidos Sashimi City. I have to say it slowly. Look how beautiful this is as a neutral palette. You've got a little bit of warm side and then more kind of yellowy ochre side here. I did first impressions 2 looks on palette on all of these palettes down here, bar one actually. There's one that I didn't actually do any videos on. The shimmers in this palette shift so nicely. So this goes from like a neutral kind of peach to a gold into like almost like a green. And in this one here, it goes from like a neutral to a pink to a gold. Just so beautiful, but just the way these look and how they work together was just so nice to use. A real nice easy palette for neutrals that I think a lot of people will be able to use. I just really liked it. I just really like this palette. My other neutral palette that I haven't actually shown because I got it then just started using it and because I wanted it just for every day. This is my MAC Nude Model palette. It looks just so plain. And this one looks like inside. It's very dirty. I should have cleaned it, but that's it there. So it's kind of on the cooler tone side. You've got these gorgeous like ochre kind of shades, this gorgeous gold. These browns, these 2 here, I've used to death. That's the Nude Model shade there, which is gorgeous. You've kind of got this like plummy sort of row neutral and then more golden on top, a nice kind of pale shimmer as well. Really, really dark to really, really light. A mix of matte and shimmers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers and 6, 7 mattes. And just a great variation for a MAC palette, firstly, because they never turn out well. And MAC shadows and everything like that, so good. I've just used this to death. I've just grabbed this whenever I need it. I need it all the time to use. I love it. And there's like a little sheet that has everything on it that tells you what the shades are, but it's very dirty and very well loved and I love it. Now we're going to get into Melt. We've got the She's in Parties palette. I bought this in 2021 but didn't get a chance to use it until 2022 because I didn't have time. This is just such a beautiful grungy mauve palette. Like so dark. Like you would not believe, you wouldn't believe how dark this matte goes, let alone this matte. Wow. You've got some gorgeous shimmers. These are like my most used shades in the palette. You've got some darker kind of shimmers to do a really nice smoky eye. I've done a first impressions and 2 looks on palette with this as well. I've done it with them all going forward now. And yeah, it's just a really gorgeous palette. The only thing I think actually sticks out a bit too much is the She's in Party colour. Maybe add one more on and have a like warmer matte, just a little bit warmer, and I think you'd be perfect. But such a gorgeous palette. I really enjoyed using it. I love the looks that I did with it when it came out. Then we've got one that's very close to my heart. I've also got another one that's very close to my heart that's coming up soon. Very, very close to my heart. This one's really close to my heart because the sister to this palette has come out on top in a lot of rankings. Probably my favourite palette in my entire collection. This is the sister. I don't know if it's going to make number one this year though, because there's other things that are just so special this year. But this is the Batty Bean and Shroud Halloween palette. Packaging, bats and everything. So cute. Very Beetlejuice vibes. And this is a here. The other palette is basically this layout as well with like different packaging. And this is like a way more kind of colourful version, where the other one was really kind of cool tone, purples, greens, that kind of thing. This is more colourful. Oh my god, like this shade here, Black Flame, is a multi-chrome. When I hold it here, it's green. When you're looking at it, it's purple. It just shifts so well. Oh my god, I love it. This one up here is also multi-chrome. This goes from orange to like gold to green. This here is a duochrome, and then this is a metallic, and the rest are all matte. It's just a quirky kind of colour story. She said when she was making it Halloween but grungy, which I think she got there as well. They pair really well, the two palettes. I think I haven't tried them together yet, but I think they're going to pair so well together to get really cool looks out of it. My only thing about this is that this for me is like a bit of an odd colour. I just feel like it's hard to kind of work it with other shades in the palette, but I like a challenge, so I like to try and get it to work. But I love this. I do love it. The formula is everything that I always hope for from Shroud, and I'm just so happy, and I want them to do more. I want another one, another collab. I know I'm being greedy, but I want another collab. Speaking of collabs, and one that came out earlier on this year, we've got the Hella palette from Odin's Eye and Angelica Neekfist, my other favourite YouTuber. And this is a super springy, summery, all green and pink palette with really nice kind of grungy tones down here. Some neutral, so you can kind of make a bit more wearable if you want wearable. There's a multi-chrome down here. There's a duochrome here. There's a really gorgeous like metallic black. Like it's not grey, it's a metallic black. The mattes in here are gorgeous. It kind of goes from light to dark, and like a really light shimmer down here. The greens are beautiful. I just really enjoyed, like it was really fun using these colours. Just so nice. And really, really happy with this palette. Funny thing is with this one though, I actually think I prefer her Kaleidos collab. The, what's it called? Club Nebula. I don't know, I feel like you get a bit more depth in it, although I do love this down here. I feel like the other one has a bit more variety in it, where this is kind of just pink, purple, green, where the other one has like a few more colours thrown in there. I don't know, not too sure. But anyway, made it the favourites this year because it was one of the best palettes I used this year. Oh, and then this palette, oh my god. This is the Give Me Glow Bad Witch Club palette, season fall. I only used this not too long ago to kind of start off the Halloween season. Look at her there, she's gorgeous. Now, I mean, I would still change one or two things. I would maybe add in another shimmer, maybe change this one to a shimmer. But, oh my god, the look, the first impressions look I did, so go check this one out, with just these four in the corner here. Oh my god, when I did that, I was like, ah, this could be one of my favourite looks I've ever done in my whole life. So, so beautiful. The shimmers in this are gorgeous. Give Me Glow's shimmers are always gorgeous anyway. But just this combination of like this periwinkle, and I was going through a periwinkle phase for a while as well, with the kind of coral and these gorgeous vibrant purples down the bottom. It's just beautiful. So stunning, and I want them to do more in this kind of, if this is going to be a series, I want more. I want more of these. It's exciting when I get to this time of year, when I'm starting to like rank all the things I used last year, and then I have to go through everything that I haven't used yet in my collection that I want to do videos on, and plan out for next year what way I want to do them, and see how many I actually have, because that's always the scary part, because there's some that I was supposed to use this year that I didn't use this year, and I'm going to be using them next year, and it's going to pile on, but hopefully we can get it all done. Hopefully. Okay, so the last two palettes here are from the same brand. You probably already know which ones I'm going to go for. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. I use this over Halloween because it's just such a gorgeous, grungy little palette. It gives me very much Halloween vibes out of it, with these like murky greens, the purples, orangey, yellowy kind of tones. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, and they're all shifty goodness. Some are duochromes and some are multi-chromes. This is so interesting because like it looks kind of just like bronze, but then it shifts to pink, then to green. It's beautiful. Oh my god, like the looks I did with this are some of my favorite looks ever. I thought this was beautiful, and I always view it in like little quads like this, and then like here and here. So beautiful. Really want to bust this out again. I will do so next year. And they were discontinuing it, then they decided to bring out just the singles of this, which they have done, but I think they're still bringing this palette out because everyone just loves this palette so much, and I love this palette too. This is going to be very, very high on my ranking video. I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm just saying it's going to be quite high up. And then last but not least, I couldn't not mention this because it's very special. This is the other one that has a very special place in my heart. This is the Glaminatrix Glamorous palette, and I only recently done my video there in December, earlier on in December, of this. It's kind of like the colourful sister to the Nocturnal. This is a bit more colour to it, but still goes lightest is a shimmer and the darkest is a matte, which I always love, and then you've got a bit of variety. The only thing I said about this was that I wish there was like this shade here was slightly lighter, so it was a bit more different from this one, but they aren't the same. It's just that I wish there was a little bit more difference. The way there's more difference between these two, I wish it was like the same with these two. So stunning. This shade Belle goes from like a burgundy to a green. Dreamy is dreamy. I keep saying it like that, but it just is. And this is so shiny. I love this palette, but the reason it's so special for me is that this was the first ever palette that was sent to me in Pure. The only thing that's ever been sent to me in Pure. That's one reason why it made it to the favorites, but also if you go look at the looks I did with it, they're stunning. I just had such a fun time working with this palette. So that is that palette, and that is all of my products. I flew through that, did I? When I edit this, it's probably gonna be like, no you did not, it's gonna take hours, but I feel like I did. I feel like I got through that quite quick. Anyway, let's finish off this video. So that is my favorites, guys, for 2022. Can you believe like I'm saying that? I keep thinking I'm gonna say 2021 because it's not 2022 yet, but it is 2022, and 2022 is over. And we're going into 2023. I wonder what is going to be the new favorites. I wonder if there's any new things I'm going to try. I do have new things that I've already gotten kind of over Black Friday, which I will hopefully do a haul if I remember to do so. And yeah, just some fun things coming up for next year. But I'm very excited and very happy with all my favorites of this year. As I said, a lot of them are the same over the years because I've used the same things a lot. But just very happy. I'm very happy. Anyway, without me rambling on anymore, I want to know down in the comments below, what were your favorites of this year? What have you been loving? What products have you been loving? What TV shows have you been loving? Let me know if you have any recommendations on TV shows or movies to watch, because you know me, I like to watch all those kind of things. And I just want to know what your favorites were of the year, what you enjoyed throughout the year. Even if it wasn't makeup wise, just let me know down below. And don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more things coming up, to see what my favorites are going to be for next year and see what new palettes we're going to be using next year. I do have more videos coming before the end of the year, but still, you know what I mean. Just hit subscribe down below. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, to get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I will continue to do many more. And as I said, my Instagram is linked down below, where I'll be posting all my pictures of all my looks. You can go give that a follow down below. So I think that's everything for me, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.